What's up, fam? It's Blkhippiee. Are you having humidity issues? Instead of misting down your enclosure 24/7, there's an easy way, and I swear if you just follow, using the same substrate mix that I'm gonna show you guys, I promise you, your enclosure will be fine. So I have a Brazilian rainbow boa, and having one of those, a baby especially, humidity needs to be like 99%. That's just how it needs to be. So instead of misting down 24/7, it's way easier to just have an awesome substrate. Is it expensive? It's not too expensive. I think I would say a big bag of cypress mulch is about 25 bucks. A big bag of the jungle mix, about 25 bucks. So that's like 50 bucks for 2 big bags. Then I would say like the sphagnum moss for a box of that's about 8 bucks. So maybe 2-3 boxes of those. You choose the math. It's not that expensive, and that will last you for months apparently. So let's get down to business. Let's see how that works. All right. So yeah, so like I said, we're gonna clean out 2 enclosures and let's get started. If you're interested, tap in. Hey, what's up, fam? It's Blkhippiee here, and we're chilling with Kiki. And today we're gonna clean some enclosures. In fact, what we're actually gonna do is technically we're gonna make the enclosures a little bit more bioactive. And what we're gonna do is add sphagnum moss to the mix that I traditionally do, which that mix is jungle mix, cypress mulch, and then now we're adding sphagnum moss. So let's see how that works. I'll be updating all my enclosures with that mix. And apparently you don't have to clean your enclosures as much with this mix. So let's test that out and let's see how it works, and let's see if it's true. Yeah, all right, cool. So like I said, this is Kiki here, and yeah, she's my Colombian albino boa constrictor imperator. She's about a year old, roughly about a year old, and about a little under 3 feet, but she's a lot more growing to do, but she's a great snake, really cool. Yeah, all right, cool. So we're gonna go ahead and clean her enclosure first, and then next we're gonna clean my Brazilian rainbow boa's enclosure. So let's get to it. Now I put Kiki up, it's a little bit easier to kind of show you guys what we're mixing. So we'll be using jungle mix, big bag, cypress mulch. I typically use forest floor, it's what I prefer. So we do 50% of this, 50% of this, and then we're gonna add in sphagnum moss. So this is the sphagnum moss that we're using. Sorry, my light is reflecting on this heavily. But yeah, it's like the Zoom Ed one. Anyway, it's about like what, $8-9 bucks roughly. Anyways, we're gonna mix this in. We're gonna use half because I want to split this up. Brazilian boa specifically, right? So yeah, Kiki's up, and let's get started. So I put all of the the stuff that's in the enclosure into a bucket like this. And you see inside the enclosure, everything's taken out. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna take all this substrate, we're gonna replace it with that blend that we were just talking about. So this is what it looks like before. You can kind of see, yeah. So this is just the cypress mulch and jungle mix together. And it's not bad, it lasts really well, but it's just the humidity. Once the humidity starts dropping a little bit too low, what I like to do is to change up the substrate. So what I'm thinking is that the sphagnum moss will prevent that, and it will allow the soil or the substrate to last even longer. So that's kind of the test we're gonna try out this time. All right, so now we cleaned out the entire enclosure, and so we're now gonna add our substrate. All right, so we just added the cypress mulch and mixed it up. So we had before, it was just the jungle mix, the dirt looking mix. And then we added the cypress mulch and I mixed it all up. I haven't had water yet. So what we're gonna do now is we're gonna add the sphagnum moss, and then we're gonna add water and then mix it up again, okay? So this is sphagnum moss. Put it all up. Got a little bit more. Gotta save some for my Brazilian rainbow boa. So that's enough for her. So apparently this is the bee's knees. So now we're just gonna add some water to it, and then mix it up. Mix it all up. Okay, so when you mix it up, you know, the sphagnum moss you should feel it like, you know, it's like damp, you know, it's not wet, you know. And if you could look, you don't even see the sphagnum standing out. If you remember what it looked like before, you know, it's like way more of a lighter color. You know, it's so blended in now, you can't even really see it. You know, you can find it, I'm sure, but you don't really see it standing out. Like this piece right here, for example, you know, so I crush it, I have to mix it up for reals. You try to like mend it together, meld it together, whatever, blend it, if you want to describe it. But my whole point is that, you know, it should be blended in really well. You don't want the moss like standing out all dry on top. Like that's not mixing it. So yeah, just make sure it's blended in really well, and then, you know, you're good. If you need to add a little bit more water, add a little bit more water. Just don't make it too wet. You know, you don't want it to be like soup, you know. But yeah, it should look like this, honestly, where, you know, yeah, it's not wet, but it's moist. You can feel the moisture in it. And so ideally, when you have this type of bioactive setup, I mean, essentially you just water, you just add water every like 2-3 weeks, and you know, your humidity is on point, and then you won't have to change out your, you know, you won't have to clean your enclosures as often. And so that's the whole point with this experiment and adding the sphagnum moss. I've heard from a lot of people to add this into the jungle mix, cypress mulch mix combo that I already do. So now it's like 3 parts. But anyways, let's try it. Let's see how it works. I mean, so far, just looking at it, just feeling the actual substrate mix, it feels really good. So honestly, I think this might be the winner. All right, cool. Okay, so this is the aftermath after I cleaned the rest of, you know, her little accessories. So the plants and the water bowl and all that stuff. Let's just dry it off, put it back inside, and I added just a little bit more water to that substrate, and so you can see kind of that's kind of what the color kind of want to look like. I do like probably about 3 inches deep, probably. That's me personally. And so yeah, we're sitting at like 92, a little bit higher than what I usually do for my my boas or my BCIs, but the humidity will drop down a little bit. And so my whole point is that, yeah, it'll be really on point for quite some time. So try it out. Let me know what you guys think. Kiki, who's cleaned her enclosure out, and so right now we're gonna do is we're gonna clean my Brazilian's enclosure out, and we're gonna do the same thing we just did. So I'm not gonna show the same footage because it's kind of redundant, but we'll show you the aftermath of it. But I'm about to go clean that enclosure out, and then I'll show you guys, I guess, the before and after, kind of what it looks like now and what it looks like afterwards. But here is Skittles, my Brazilian rainbow boa, looking beautiful. Amazing snakes, really awesome, easy to take care of, to be quite honest with you. Easier than a ball python, definitely. All right, so look at Skittles, looking all beautiful. Man, so beautiful. I love this snake. This is one probably my favorite snakes to take out because it's so cool just to see like how she's changing. Oh man, her colors are just mind-blowing. Anyway, so Skittles, the infamous Skittles. And now we're about to go put her up so we can clean her enclosure. Okay, so I took out all the fun stuff, well, most of the fun stuff. But so just kind of give you guys a before and after, kind of the soil looks like, or what the substrate looks like. But yeah, so we're gonna take out all this and we're gonna change it the same way we just changed out Kiki, my BCI's enclosure. Okay, so we went and added all 3 together. So the sphagnum moss with the cypress mulch and the jungle mix. And you can see that's kind of roughly how deep, you know, the substrate is. It's about like 3 or 4 inches roughly. And yeah, so also a little side note, what I like to do on the hot side, which over here, I like to make it a little thinner. You have a layer of substrate, you know, just so that it doesn't interfere with the thermostat. So that's what determines the heat, right? Or what sets the heat. So I like to put like a thin layer of substrate on there so that it doesn't make it too insulated and gives off false readings. And I also like to kind of, you know, like dig a little hole kind of for them on their cold side, the cooler side, because they like to burrow and stuff like that. So fun little tip. Anywho, so this is like the great mix that we're trying, bioactive, and it's awesome. So yeah. Okay, so here is the final product. And so we get all the substrate mixed in and all the fine stuff put in there. So I haven't even missed it down yet, and it's already at 86 or 87 and climbing. So you see the humidity's like boosting like crazy. And I swear this substrate mix will have your humidity boosting for like weeks, man. You're really not gonna have to be spraying down your enclosure every day. So unless you're gonna need another substrate mix change, or, you know, all you need to do then is, I swear, maybe like 2 weeks later, 3 weeks later, when you notice your humidity is getting lower, just add some water. So take your snake out, take these, you know, things out, add some water, just mix it up again. If you see like urates or poop, obviously clean that up, spot clean that, but mix it up, and then you're boosted for another couple of weeks. So the idea with the bioactive, you know, enclosure is that you're not going to clean it all the time. So, you know, that's the awesome thing. So check us out. 88 and climbing. So I'm gonna mist it down a little bit, and then we're gonna put Skittles. So I'm gonna mist it down right now, just to make it a little make the humidity climb up higher, because like I said, this is Brazilian rainbow boa. So we're gonna mist it down a little bit more, and yeah, and that's gonna be that. So we're gonna go put Skittles into her enclosure. And it's off to the races. So she's going right to her hot side. But yeah, so that's it, fam. We did it. Alright, fam, so you guys just witnessed it, you saw it. We cleaned Skittles' enclosure, and we cleaned Kiki's enclosure, and we also added sphagnum moss to the mix. And so let's see how well that works out. I think it'll work out perfectly, because like I said before in the beginning, you know, just the mix just using jungle mix and cypress mulch alone is amazing, and it works perfectly. So adding sphagnum moss, I can only imagine making it better, right? So let's see how well this holds up, and I'm excited. Except for you guys more than anything, for those especially who are having humidity issues, because I remember when I was having humidity issues and just kind of the pain and suffering you go through, and missing 24/7, you know, like, oh my gosh, it's at 67%, gotta get it higher. Like that 24/7, it's not the best way to experience the hobby. So if you're, you know, down to try this, I say try it. And in the comments below, let me know how it went for you. If you're afraid to try it, let me know why you're afraid to try it. Let's talk it out. And yeah, that does it, fam. So I hope you guys learned something cool with today's video. And that does it. Blkhippiee out. Much love. Peace. Have an awesome day, night, wherever you're at. And until next time, Blkhippiee out. Oh, and make sure you subscribe. Peace.